What's going on, everybody? Car Guy V8 here with another video, and I haven't really done a whole lot of car related stuff this week, but I did a couple of things and I'll show y'all both of them. First thing I did was I changed up the exhaust on the El Camino, and I'm going to be working on a Holley 750 here in a little bit that I'm going to show y'all. But I was tired of the leaking exhaust system that this truck had. It sounded good because it had a Mustang H-pipe on it, and it had some Flowmaster, so it was actually a really good sounding exhaust. It just leaked a little too much for my taste. Here's the exhaust that was on it. It was actually a Mustang H-pipe. I'm not sure what year model, but it was modified to work for this G-body and the headers that are on it. But you can see it kind of leaked a good bit right around here. You see those burn marks and stuff. That's from exhaust popping out of there over here. I'm sure there was a little bit down this way as well, but it sounded great other than the leaks, and I'm probably going to try to get this fixed up, the leaks fixed and stuff like that, because I would like to use it again, maybe with different mufflers or maybe with these mufflers. I'm not sure yet, but I know it works perfectly with these headers, and I don't plan to get rid of the headers, so I think I'll try to rework this a little bit, see what we can do. But what I put on it, this is the easiest exhaust setup to ever put on a vehicle. Purple Hornies. They're pretty cheap. They bolt right to the flange and they sit straight if you've got, headers that come down and sit level. So to me, they always sound pretty good. I know some people aren't a big fan of the glass pack sound, and I will say it really depends on the engine whether I prefer the Flowmaster sound or the glass packs, but I like both. So let's go ahead and fire it up and hear it, and then we'll go in and check out that Holley 750. So this is what we have going on with the Holley. This is a 750 vacuum secondary that is on the Cutlass, or was on the Cutlass. But if you remember, it just always leaked just a little bit at the dual feed fuel line. And I had an old shirt there just to soak up the little drops here and there. So really, any fuel leak is too much. You don't want any fuel leaking whatsoever. But I was using the old Mr. Gasket dual feed fuel line here. And these are notoriously 50-50. Either you get a good one or a junk one. And it's all about the seal right here. Some of them have little burrs, which I actually did deburr this one. But actually it leaked worse after deburring it, as funny as that sounds. What we're replacing it with is this Summit branded AN fitting. But I adapted it to the 3/8 fuel line since I have that going from the metal fuel line on the Cutlass. But we're going to try this out. And I also am using a method that I was reading online. Several people did this, and it wasn't in the Holley instructions or anything like that, but they'll use a little bit of wheel bearing grease on the threads and on the actual flare fitting so that it'll, you can tighten it up without there being any resistance. It'll help lubricate it and help seat it against the other end of the flare. And so I'm going to try that. This whole setup altogether was about $100. So man, I'm sure hoping it does not leak. And at first I was a little worried about using some wheel bearing grease in there. But then I got to thinking, the first time you drive this thing or fire it up, it'll probably just end up being black smoke out the exhaust, if anything. So I no longer have those reservations. So let me know if you've ever tried that and if you've had success. We're going to put this together real quick, and then we're going to throw it on the car. I'm trying to position this where y'all can see. I'm really, I'm trying not to tighten this too tight. You know, because if it leaks a little, I would like to be able to tighten it a little more. But I also don't want to just, you know, go all gorilla on it and way over tighten and mess up a flare or something like that. So just trying to get it just enough that hopefully it'll all be good, but there might be a little bit of wiggle room. But man, that looks pretty good in there. Look at that. It's actually a pretty good looking little setup. All right, so first let's remove this old stupid shirt. See our beautiful TBI intake. While I have y'all here, check out this that I found for the car. It was under the headliner. I'm going to show y'all some interior stuff in a minute. Kind of hard to see, but that is the original build sheet. Now, I'm poor, so I don't have a laminator. So, yes, that is tape. And then pretty poor condition, but you can read out most of the codes. That paper was pretty much falling apart while I was holding it. So that's why I went ahead with the budget tape rebuild there. Let's see. Throw that on. There we go. Got it kind of cockeyed because of the throttle cable over there. All right, I think I'm probably just going to throw 2 of the nuts on just to hold the carburetor down, just in case it leaks and I need to take it back off. Just to hold it down. Oh yeah, that fitting's pretty nice right there. Let's get that just a little further. Oh yeah, that, man, I hope this dual feed line works, because man, it looks good. Looks real good up there. I took some brake cleaner and cleaned off any of the excess, you know, wheel bearing grease on there. So I'm actually going to grab this camera. We're going to look at this thing as I put fuel pressure to it. So we'll see. I'm just going to hook up the battery real quick. Come on, build fuel pressure. See it starting to. Come on, baby. I don't see any leaks. I think we're going to try to run it for a minute. See, you know, once it's actually running, got like 14 volts of pressure or of battery. She is all back together. Got all the vacuum lines and everything hooked. Oh, we probably need the throttle. Still need to get the E-clip for that, but that'll be good. Just it almost seems a little loose, but that'll be fine. I put size 70 primary jets in it. It had 72, and I just noticed just a little bit of black smoke. So I went down to 70s. I didn't touch anything in the secondary since it has a metering plate and not a metering block. I didn't want to pull that out and risk tearing a gasket, but hopefully 2 is all it needs because it ran really good. It's just a little rich for my taste, so we'll see. Oh, I forgot the accelerator pump. I hadn't pumped it with that new carb. I really want to get up there, so it'll idle on its own in just a second. Hold on. What the heck am I even thinking? How dumb can I be? Do you know how often I've done this? Oh yeah, now it's smooth. Man, that always frustrates me. I do that often. That's me pulsing the throttle right there. Okay. That's some of the old fuel residue down there. I need to clean that. Yeah, it's just discolored, nothing left. Dry. Dry. Guys, look at the interior. Look at that door panel there. Come on, focus. I just redid that. Took the headliner out because it was sagging and it really doesn't look bad under there. I looked at the prices of them. I was like, who needs a headliner anyway? I took out all of the exterior panels except for where the seat belt goes and this side too. There were some deep scratches and stuff from that, you know, over time as it gets old, it kind of just degrades and starts flaking. But I cleaned it all up and I repainted, and it looks about as good as this interior I think can get without, you know, a parts car. Last thing I want to show y'all. Go into a fuse, relay. Going up to the factory cruise control button. Ha! Man, guys, I'm quite happy. You know, right now there's no leak. I'm gonna keep an eye on that. And fellow Holley guys, I think y'all probably already know, keeping an eye on the Holley fuel leak locations. You know, the common leak locations is a must with these old carburetors, but that's kind of just old cars in general. Ooh, I'm pumped. So this old air cleaner, I believe, was a Summit one way back, and it matches pretty perfectly with these valve covers here. I actually got those valve covers for free. Someone had a crate engine, and they didn't want the valve covers, and so they just gave them to me, which was nice. And the whole engine looks pretty sharp. But guys, I think that's it for this video, so thank y'all for watching.